have a think about in groups, or if you're on your own, just have a think about on your own. First of all, most obviously, do forms exist? Is Plato's epistemology correct? Is there a transcendental, more perfect, eternal and unchanging world behind our world of imperfect matter? Or is there not? Second question. Depending on how you answer the first, depends on your answer to the second. In the sense that the question is, what is mathematics? So think back to that when we talked about Pythagoras. Pythagoras is saying that there is some truth about triangles that exists as Pythagoras' theorem, irrespective of any particular manifestation. So what is that knowledge? Is it, if you believe there are perfect forms, then you can quite happily say, well, it's a perfect form. If there's not, then what is that knowledge? Does that knowledge exist? Is it real? And how is it real? In any way, is it tangible? Is it not tangible? If all people knowing Pythagoras' theorem were to die, would Pythagoras' theorem still exist? Well, some would want to say, yeah, the truth of that triangle would still exist. If all triangles are eliminated, or right-angle triangles, would that truth still exist? What is that truth? Where is that truth? How is that truth represented, if not as a perfect form? The third question is, if we can say some people, can we say some people are more knowledgeable than others? Can we say you know more than that person? And as such, should the most knowledgeable be the leader? Should they be a philosopher king? Should the cleverest person be the dictator, simply because they know more than us, are cleverer than us? And of course, how would we decide? You know, I remember the early Israel state, I believe, tried to appoint Einstein as its president. Well, he didn't. He refused. But the point being is that actually the right way to go? Do you just pick the cleverest guy and go, bingo, you should be a dictator and tell us what to do? And if you don't think that's right, if you think that knowledge is relative, that someone can be clever and still wrong, well, how do you pick the ruler of a state? How do you pick the ruler of a republic? How do you do that? What makes democracy a better system? Lots of stupid people picking stuff? Or is there some truth in democracy? What makes democracy so strong? Or is democracy not so strong? These are decisions for you. Next question, the penultimate question is, the next video is going to be, or next lesson, is going to be a short 5-minute video I found on YouTube about how someone's comparing the modern film of The Matrix, starring Keanu Reeves, great film, with the allegory of the cave. And what's interesting about that is that the modern day take on the cave is very different to what philosophers have historically interpreted that cave allegory, because they talk about how Socrates and Plato seem to be saying that there is no truth and that we exist in this false world and that we can come out of the cave and realise there is no truth. But that is actually very different to what Plato and Socrates are saying. And I put that there just as another way to get you thinking. And maybe you want to reread Plato's allegory of the cave and say the Matrix interpretation is the right one. But they seem to be saying something different. They seem to be saying there is no truth. And finally, the last two lessons are a couple of lessons, a couple of other videos interpreting the allegory of the cave. And the last question I want to leave you with, or request I want to leave you with, is to have a think about how you might do it, and actually go and do it. Create a 5-minute version YouTube video and upload it so the world can see of your interpretation of Plato's allegory of the cave, what it means to you. Does it have any meaning? Even if it's just a piece of camera like this, or maybe it's something more inventive than this. Anyway, best of luck, and I hope you enjoy the other videos, and please read Plato's Republic.